Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the 5th show of Healthy Living with Marilyn. Yeah, we're doing 5 shows, Tuesday. Isn't that cool?
I know, time flies when you're having fun.
Oh, it sure does. It certainly does. And I want to welcome everybody to the 5th segment of Healthy Living with Marilyn. I have been a naturopath for almost 40 years for people who don't know me. I don't have an office right now. I went on sabbatical a couple years ago to write and finish my book, which I'm sending off very soon. I'm so happy about.
Exciting.
And to take care of my grandson, who's now 2.5. And I also take care of his 7-month-old brother. And I'm just so excited to be here, and I'm looking forward to telling people and enlightening people about different ways that you can stay healthy the natural way. I would like to introduce my co-host who has been with me, and I appreciate your support.
Oh, thank you.
And your undying love and being there for me and picking me up when I'm down and you know, all that. Miss Josi Hopkins.
And it's exciting for me to be with you. You know, I've been worried about you all week long.
I know.
I'm so glad to see you, though. See you moving around.
Well, it's been tough. It's been a challenge this week, but I've been able to get a lot of rest with the help of our guest, Debbie Troxell, and I want to welcome Debbie. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Marilyn. It's great to be here with you all tonight.
Well, I am so glad you're here because I've wanted you on the show. And you know, we talked about it, and I just had to get her on the show because a lot of times when I go to get my foot ionizing cleanse at her office, we do Facebook Lives. And if you didn't catch the Facebook Live this week, go back, and we did it on Monday, wasn't it? Monday?
Yes.
Yeah, we did it on Monday. Gosh, the week has just
Time
flown.
flies, doesn't it?
It just flies. I can't believe how fast it's gone.
Yes.
And we did a Facebook Live, and right now I looked earlier before the show, and we had almost 180 views, which I was,
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's
Developing a following with Healthy Living with Marilyn and all things Marilyn.
All things Marilyn. Yeah, I put Shaunice, my wonderful administrative assistant, told me weeks ago, she says, let's do a hashtag Marilyn Mondays. So I think 1 week I missed because I was having a hellacious Monday or something. But I've tried to do it every Monday, and this week I did one on caution.
I saw it.
And being careful when you're walking, putting one foot in front of the other. I had a very bad accident where I fell on Sunday in a parking lot, and my intuition said, don't walk on that grass. Don't walk on that grass. And the person I was with, Judy, my friend who I laugh with all the time, my best friend, she said she felt the same intuition. And I walked out. We didn't say anything.
The gut was talking and speaking.
The intuition was saying, don't do that, don't do it. It's probably my grandmother saying, Marilyn, don't walk on the grass.
Yes.
Well, there was a dip in the grass, and you can't see it because there's grass.
Right.
You know, it's not there, not very visible for me.
Sure.
Well, my foot found it, and I sprained my left ankle rolled under, and I fell on my right arm.
Ouch.
And at my weight, when you fall like that, it's probably double the poundage when you hit the ground. I'm just guessing. I don't know what it was, but
Well, it definitely,
enough.
I'm sure it felt like double it.
Oh my gosh. And Judy says, well, Marilyn, you felt like a football player. You didn't pitch with your hand. And I said to her in pain, I said, Judy, if I had caught with my hands, I probably would have broken
your
my
wrist.
Oh,
yeah.
So there are things to be thankful for, and I have found a lot of ways by the way I fell that I was thankful for, because normally when I fall, I catch with my hands. But I think because my foot got caught in that ditch, it turned me to the right, and that's why I fell on my arm.
Yep.
And I was sort of hugging myself because I had my purse in my left arm. So, you know,
instinctively you're going like that.
Instinctively I went like this.
The mother instinct.
Really, the mother instinct. And I fell right on my arm. And she got ice for my ankle. I said, Judy, I can fix my ankle. I really can fix my, but the ice is good. The ice is good because my ankle is pretty good right now, but it's my arm. And I have better range of motion now, but I've had my holistic friends, Debbie being one of them, come to the forefront to help me out. And I've been very blessed with my friends being around. And I did go to the Doc in the Box.
I like that Doc in the Box.
Yeah, somebody told me that they call it, their husband calls it Doc in the Box. So I did go to Doc in the Box, and they sent me to an ER to get an MRI where they don't have MRIs. So I went to an orthopedic surgeon the next day who does knees and elbows. That's all.
Not the arms.
Not the arms.
Well, you know, they're not connected in the doctor world.
Right.
We're all parts. We're all parts.
We're all parts. They take compartmentalizing 101. They do. So I went to a guy, and my range of motion was not very good. My husband had to take me in, and I'm walking with a cane, and I've got an air cast on, which I got rid of the air cast because it was kind of rinky-dink. And
I'm amazed because talking to you and reading your posts, I expected you to be rolled in tonight. And, you know, that's the power of natural medicine, that, you know, we can recover much faster when we can feel what's going on and when our body can respond.
well, absolutely. And I felt so much better. Now, I didn't feel great Sunday night. I had a lot of trouble sleeping. They gave me some pain medication, which only made me feel woozy, but it never took the pain away. So I was really, really uncomfortable. And I decided I'm not taking this stuff. The thing it did to me, I got constipated.
Oh,
You know, and I'm being transparent.
TMI.
I know it's TMI, but a lot of times when people take pain medication, and I try to be transparent,
Oh, you got to be. It's
I got
real.
constipated. I mean,
real.
it was real, and it was no fun. So when my husband went to the grocery store, I said, the first thing I want you to get is prunes.
All right.
Because I ate 5 prunes, and that's when I really started moving, and it was better. It was a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And your arm mobility is
my
much
arm
improved.
mobility is better. I can do this up to here right
more
now.
than that, just
I
took
know,
your
I
necklace
know.
off.
But when
I was like, uh-oh.
I can do this, but I can't.
Go to the side
I
like
can't
that.
go to the side, and I have to be able to hold the baby, so I can't hold the baby right now. Plus, he weighs 18 pounds, and I can't pick up 18 pounds right now without maybe risking dropping him, and I don't want to drop him. So I haven't watched the kids this week, but I hope Jacob and Sammy and my daughter Tiffany and Steve are doing well this week because they've had to make other arrangements. So I hope everything is going okay, and I'm feeling better, but I decided to go the natural route. So I called a friend of mine. First I went to Debbie, and she does, and she's going to talk about this later, the foot ionizing. And I went and got that done. There was a lot of inflammation in me, and I got a lot of inflammation out, and she'll tell you more about that, and a lot of lymph and yeast and a whole bunch of different stuff because of what had happened to me. And I called my friend Lisa Hazelgrove. Lisa, I hope you're watching. And Lisa came over and did some magnetic therapy on me.
Nice.
And put some infrared tape on me, which I still have on here, which has really helped because my arm has been really, really painful, really painful. So I decided I'm just going the natural route, and she's been doing, we've been doing the rolling up and down of the magnets, and she lent me an infrared blanket that I sleep with, which I thought was really nice.
That's cozy.
It's cozy, makes me feel good, and So that was really, really good. And so I decided, well, I was just going to go into my kitchen and see what I could get.
That's right.
So one of the things that I got, and I'm going to show everybody, is turmeric. Now this is turmeric. It's a yellow spice, and you've got to be careful with it because it stains and you can't get it out. But if anybody ever wants to stain or color some wool or some silk or whatever, this is the yellow that is good for it. Okay, this is a really nice yellow, but it's a great anti-inflammatory.
Absolutely.
It's great for the pain that I'm experiencing. I'm not taking a whole lot. I'm taking only 300 milligrams a day because if you take 1,500 milligrams, you can have side effects. You can have nausea and stomach upset, and you know, if you take too much of anything, you're going to get side effects. So it doesn't matter that it's natural. If you take too much, you will have side effects. So, and everybody's side effects are different. So I'm taking the turmeric. I'm also, and I put that in my almond milk too. And a lot of people have been doing that, using milk with turmeric and heating it up a little bit and drinking it in the morning. Turmeric is the in spice right now.
It surely is.
Everybody's taking turmeric. And if you don't know about turmeric, you should really find out about turmeric.
Yeah, I've got some turmeric oil.
Do you? And turmeric, I wanted to go to Good Foods down on Huguenot, but I didn't because they sell turmeric in the root because it's a root. And it sort of looks like dark ginger, but it's not ginger.
Yes, it's used so much in Ayurvedic medicine.
Ayurvedic.
So,
yeah, they use it a lot in Ayurvedic medicine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much.
What I do, being a homeopath, that's probably about as Ayurvedic as I get right now. I want to get more into Ayurvedic medicine, but I have other healing modalities that I use, but there's still ones that I want to learn more about.
There's so much.
There's so much out there, friends.
There really is.
There is so much out there, and that's why I have this show, Healthy Living with Marilyn, because I want to tell everybody that there are natural products out there that you can use, and you don't need to go to the doc in the box. I mean, I had to go because I needed x-rays.
Oh, they have their purpose.
They have their purpose, and sometimes you have to cross over. And I still haven't had my MRI.
Right.
I don't know if I'll get the MRI, but MRIs are not, I don't like MRIs. It's like being in a construction zone. And I just,
noisy.
It's very noisy. It's very noisy. You hear the boom, 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 the clatter, and
you have to be so still.
Yeah, and you feel like they've got a jackhammer there, you know, and they're constantly jackhammering right next to you. And so I'm
I
not
just
a fan
imagine
of
that
those.
I'm tap dancing when I'm inside of them.
Oh, really? Well, if I ever have to have that, I'll text
I just
you
imagine
beforehand.
that I'm tap dancing and that's the sound of some tap shoes.
Yeah.
You know, it takes my focus off of it being a machine.
It's very, very noisy. So anyhow, I haven't had the MRI, but like I said, my range of motion is about there. That's where the pain starts. So I can move my arm in different ways because I'm using this muscle to move my arm this way.
Yes.
But I'm using the rotator cuff here, and it's not rotating. So I'm still working on it. I'm still taking the turmeric. It has helped me with the pain. It has helped me bring the inflammation down, and I'm still going to take it. And so if you find that you have joint problems, or you've sprained something, or your joints aren't just working right, you know, I'm 64 years young, but my body is getting up there in age too. And even though Josie says, yeah, Marilyn, you're 64 years young, well, tell my body that, Josie. You know.
Body, she's 64 years
There you
young.
go. There you go. Maybe it'll listen. Maybe it'll comprehend what Josie's saying. I certainly
When
hope
you get
so.
yours to listen, have it talk to mine too.
Okay, I will definitely. But anyhow, you know, we don't heal as fast as Shaunice would heal.
Oh yeah.
You know, Shaunice is 24, 25. We don't heal as fast as she does.
No.
Might take a little bit
I
longer.
remember
It's
it
gonna
was
take
back
us-
in, I can't remember what it was, the week before the Women's March on Washington. And I went out to pick up things for the march and stepped off a curve. into a hole. So almost the same
Ouch.
way. I still feel it in my ankle, but my ankle immediately. So I didn't go to the march, but you know, I knew first to pay attention to where I'm walking. You know, and that's what we first have to do, is really watch our surroundings as we're maturing. You know, there are obstacles everywhere.
There are.
Yeah.
There are. And you've just got to be more, I have to be more careful. And I think the older we get, the more we age, Josie.
Well, the body does start to break down a little bit
it
faster.
Does, it does, and it starts to move a little different, and we start to motivate a little different.
Yep.
And sometimes our get up and go, got up and went. And,
Or it doesn't get up at all.
or it doesn't get up at all, like I had trouble this morning getting up. But having said that, be patient with your care. And this is something I have been learning for a very long time. Patience. You have to be patient. I can't stress this enough. It is so vitally important to be patient with yourself. If your body's not moving that way, just be patient. Move it a little bit, like I've been using my shoulder just a little bit. My kids are probably looking at me saying, Mom, please don't do that. Please don't do that. We don't want that to happen.
But I need you to be with the babies next week.
Right, but the thing is, if you don't use it, you lose it.
You lose it.
Yep.
And the doctor up at West Creek said, if I don't use my arm, I could get frozen shoulder.
Oh,
Well, that's the last thing I
I'm
want.
just getting over
good.
frozen shoulder after a year. It's been a year and 4 months, and really the chiropractor has done more benefit than anything else that I did.
Yeah, and Josie's going to a chiropractor. That's another
Yeah.
way of a natural way to take care of yourself. It's really important. There's chiropractors out there. There's
Yes.
acupuncturists
Yes.
out there. I have a colleague who's an acupuncturist who I'm really tempted to call soon
You
to
should.
help me, you know,
Yes.
with my arm.
Good for
Yeah.
pain control
Yeah.
too,
Right.
and just stimulating the channels.
Yeah, but if you can't afford a chiropractor or an acupuncturist, can you get the bottle for me,
Absolutely.
because I can't reach it.
I can reach.
Turmeric. This bottle of turmeric might be your lifesaver. Might be your lifesaver. I also get a turmeric ginger tea that I drink.
Oh,
that
that's
I
so
get
good.
at Carytown Teas down in Carytown. Now, Patricia didn't ask me to talk about her tea place, but I love her tea store. And if you ever get a chance to go down to her tea shop, it's in Carytown on Nansemond Road. It's sort of stuck in there, hide behind. It's sort of catty corner from the CVS there. Go in and say hello to her. She has a very beautiful, eclectic tea shop. Have you been there?
I have not been there.
Oh, Debbie,
No.
you really should go. And she's got teas, all different types of
Ooh,
teas.
and I love tea.
And what's the name of her shop?
The name of her shop is Carytown Teas.
Okay. Awesome. I
Carytown
love
Teas.
teas.
I
Her
do
name
too.
is Patricia Guillard Adams. I don't know if I pronounced her middle name right. She's French. And she has great teas there, and she'll mix teas for you, and you can sit there and have a cup of tea.
Oh, that sounds
You might want to try
delightful.
it. And I like to go there to get my teas because she has the turmeric ginger. And I do use ginger, and I
Yeah.
do eat ginger a lot. Ginger is another anti-inflammatory
Nice
that can
warming.
help you. It's very warming. And the beauty of ginger is that it heats up your metabolism.
Yes.
So
Yep.
it can help you lose weight, which is another thing I'm working on.
It's good for popsicle toes too.
It is.
Yes, I learned that to help my husband out, not put my cold feet on him at night. If I do some ginger tea before bed, my feet warm up.
Your feet are
There
warm.
you go. See, Josie's feet warm up with ginger. You can't beat that, right?
You know what else you can do with it too? I learned from an acupuncturist friend of mine. If you have motion sickness or an upset stomach, you can get some fresh ginger and put it in
Yes.
your belly button.
Yes, yes.
And it helps
Yep.
alleviate
See,
that.
you don't even have to eat it. Just put it in your navel. What a
That's
deal.
right. Put a little piece of tape over
Yep.
it and you're set.
Really, it's great. Ginger you can use for a lot of things. It's great for digestion. It really
Yes.
is. And when you have turmeric and ginger together in a tea form, it's very, very tasty. Now, this is a loose tea, so you'd have to get the the tea
tea
bags
ballers.
to get it. I have tea bags, or you can get a tea ball.
Yep.
I prefer the tea bags because sometimes the tea ball, some of the sediments sticks through. But even with the tea bag, some of the turmeric floats down to the bottom. So, but try it. Try something new. Turmeric is so good for you. It is wonderful for what ails you. You can drink it in a tea. Ginger is great for you. Now, what I've been using for my ankle, and my ankle's healing a lot better than my arm. And I don't know why, because I stand on my foot.
Yes.
Because you're working it, you're using it more.
I'm using it more. And I'm taking a homeopathic remedy called Calcarea florica, which is for repeated sprains.
Okay.
And a couple years ago, when I was in a parking lot where we used to live at a grocery store, my ankle rolled and my ankle bone hit the pavement.
Oh.
So I pulled tendons and ligaments, and it was ugly.
Ouch.
I still went to the grocery store, and then I came home and I couldn't walk. It's like, really? And my foot was way swollen. So I started taking this, and by the next day I could walk.
Wow.
Now I had to wrap it, but the
Cool.
next day I could walk. So I've been taking this for my sprains.
I'm going to check these out too.
It's very, very helpful for sprains. If you sprain your hand or your fingers, or it's moving the wrong way. You can sprain your knee, you can sprain your hip, you can sprain your elbow or your shoulder. There's a lot of places you can sprain. So if you're having problems with that, get in touch with me. Go to my website, www.healthylivingwithmarilyn.com, and go over to contact me, and you can send me an email. I think my phone number's on there. You can get in touch with me. And there's different, just get in touch with me if you have any questions, because it's really important. I want to help you. I really want to help you enormously.
Awesome.
And we're just going to keep going with the flow. And I want to introduce my wonderful friend here who has helped me enormously with my healing. When I went to Debbie a couple of months ago, I had something called pruritus. And my skin was itching and I had no rash. And again, I went to the PCP. I had to go back to Debbie, and I started these foot ionizing treatments with her, and she had a great deal on them. You buy 4, it's so much, and she was getting all excited about them. Oh, Marilyn, look at this, you've got liver in there, and you've got kidney, and this color is gallbladder, and look at the bubbles are lymph.
I
and
know.
It's like, I am so embarrassed. And she's getting all excited.
Yeah, because
it is
it's
exciting.
working. Your body was purifying.
I know, and I'm thinking, I cannot believe all that stuff that is coming out of my body. And she's all excited, and I'm ready to crawl into a hole because I'm so embarrassed.
But I had to tell you, it's better out than in.
That's right.
That's
it's better
true.
out than
Yes.
I used to tell my clients, they say, well, I have a runny nose. You want it to come out. You don't
Yes,
want it
sir.
in your system.
That's right.
So, but Debbie has a company called Lifestyle Designs, and I've known Debbie for quite a while. Where's your office?
It is at the Wellness Village, which is on 1404 Starling Drive in the West End. It's right behind Disco Sports, and we share a parking lot with them. And the Wellness Village has been there for about, I want to say, almost 15 years. I've had my own business there for almost 7 years.
Wow.
And yes, and it's a holistic healing center. One whole side of the building is massage therapy and infrared sauna. And a lot of the massage therapists do different things, different types of massage and reflexology and all kinds of things. And then on the right side of the building where my office is located, there are different practitioners that have their own businesses there. There's an acupuncturist, a life coach, Pilates, great Pilates program, a lady that does colonics, a medical hypnotherapist, licensed clinical social worker. So
You get treated all in one swoop.
Yes, there's so many different modalities there, which is very exciting. So that's where my office is.
So tell us about you. How did you get into doing what you're doing now?
Well, many years ago, well, I shouldn't say that many, but when I went to college for the first time after high school, I majored in psychology and thought I wanted to be a child psychologist. And so actually worked in a men's prison for a while in North Carolina, and then started a master's in counseling psychology. Well, my two boys came along and I stayed home with them for while they were little, and when they got into school, did a lot of different things. I sold real estate for 7 years and lots of different things. Well, as a second career, I went to nursing school.
Okay.
And got my RN license, which I still keep active. And I worked in one of the local hospitals here in orthopedics. And, and we had kidney patients there and a lot of GI surgery patients. And it was a really great experience. I loved the times when I was able to do a little counseling, teaching. There's not a whole lot of time when you're working on the floor in a hospital to do that, but I really enjoyed that patient interaction very much. So then I had a really positive experience with that, and then I thought, well, let me work in psychiatry too. I'd like to try that and use some of my psychology degrees. So I worked at a facility that is no longer here, but at the time was a very excellent psychiatric facility. And that was a good experience too. After my father had a very miraculous healing using some natural modalities, I really had my interest peaked in holistic approach. So I went back into doing some marketing for different types of healthcare companies, and in the meantime studied for my master's in natural health and also did the parish nurse program at the seminary. So it kind of put mind, body, spirit together for me. And so now it's great because I do get to constantly on a daily basis do counseling and education about healthy lifestyles with clients. Some of them are children. I had a young teenager with his dad in today at 5 o'clock. They've been in before and come on a regular basis. And so it's great. It kind of pulled everything together for me of my interests and my education and experience.
So tell us about your lifestyle designs. I want to know more about that.
Well, that's the name of my company.
It is the name of her company.
Yes, and so I do a variety of things there. I do a lot of nutritional work. I'm an herbalist. I do the detoxing foot baths, which it's great. Here's a little picture, if we can possibly
Can you zero in on that,
a little.
Michael?
And so
I love the ionizing foot bath. I feel so much better after I've had it done, and it helped get rid of all the itching on my skin. I'm done with it, and I was pretty miserable for a while.
Yes, and
so it helped. What it did was it helped cleanse my liver, because that was the problem. I needed the liver cleanse in order to get rid of the pruritus.
Yes, and it's great. What I love too about it, it's very visual, so you can see it.
Oh yeah, you can see it. You can see it happening. You can see yourself detoxing when your feet are in that pan. It is awesome. And it takes, what, a half an hour?
It's half an hour that the feet are in there. And there are different organ systems that it helps to cleanse and pull acidity from.
Can you zero in on that, Michael?
Yeah, there's a chart that, like, when the water's lime green, it's working on the kidneys, and orange on the joints and muscles, which we see
I had
that.
a lot of orange this week.
Yes, that was one of your primary colors. Brown for the liver.
Yep, I had brown too.
Yep, and dark green for gallbladder. We can see yeast, sometimes parasites, heavy metals, all kinds of different
bubbles. I like the bubbles because that's lymph.
The lymphatic system.
And it's like, let me tell you something about lymph, friends. We have a heart that pumps our blood, but we don't have anything that pumps our lymph glands, and our lymph glands have fluid in them. So the way you have to get your lymph glands going is dry brushing, or jumping on a trampoline, or jumping rope, doing something to get your body motivated, your whole body going, so your lymph glands start moving that fluid. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And so when someone is doing the foot bath, I also take that opportunity to talk with them about their lifestyle, their diet. What do you have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? What are your sleep patterns like? Exercise patterns, stress level, quite a few different things of that nature. And then I'm able to zero in on what their specific needs are, because the tenets of natural health that I really do love is the body will heal itself when it gets what it needs.
Absolutely.
One size does not fit all.
No.
Right.
And we need to take responsibility for our own health.
Right.
So it's great. It's just a wonderful time to educate and find out about the person and just help them to design specific ways to enhance their healthy lifestyle.
Right. Right.
I
Now,
believe people are really open to that now. I think so many more people
they
want
are.
to do something holistically because they want to have their lives enriched instead of declining.
Yes.
You know?
And I'll tell you something I thought was interesting with nursing licenses now. We used to not have continuing education, but now you are supposed to do 30 CEUs every 2 years. So I've been working on mine, and I thought this was really interesting because this is real mainstream in the medical world. There was a large section that I just completed that was on the gut-brain connection.
Oh my gosh, the
And
Vegas.
Yes, and it
Vegas,
even
yeah.
talked about diet and some supplemental things we can do. It was very interesting, and I thought, you know, things are kind of coming along. I think people are interested.
I think more people are interested. I hope you all are interested. Like I said, that's why I have this show called Healthy Living with Marilyn. I was talking to my son this morning because he was checking up on me to make sure that I was behaving myself and not going out and do the Irish jig. And his fiance has been texting me at night, and I said to her last night, I said, the show must go on. I'm going to be on the show tomorrow. And I said, but I won't do the Irish jig. And she says, well, Marilyn, you dance when you're sitting down. So I'm trying not to dance when I'm sitting down when the music is on. My music is called Lucky Day, and I always feel lucky when I can get up in the morning. And yes, isn't that a nice name?
Yes, it is.
And I always feel so lucky when I can get up in the morning and put my feet on the floor, and I'm on this side of the sod.
Oh yeah.
Not looking up at the other side, and
Yes.
I can just do what I need to get done. But like this week, my life has sort of been, it hasn't sort of been, it's been on hold. But I've had to take care of myself. It's so important with self-care. Now, the other thing that Debbie does is she does thermography.
Yes.
And that's the one thing that I wanted you to talk about as well, because people have asked me, do you get a mammogram? No, I don't get a mammogram. And I've been to the doctor and they say, do you get a mammogram? No, I don't get a mammogram. When was the last time you had a mammogram? Oh, a long time ago. Well, what do? I get a thermogram. I go to Debbie. Debbie does thermograms, and what they are is, well, you tell them what they are, Debbie.
Thermography is very interesting. You can even image the entire body, but I would say a majority of what is imaged that people are requesting is breast imaging. Thermography is a safe, non-invasive, no radiation way to help look at breast health. It's been registered with the FDA since 1982, and many other countries like France, Japan, Sweden,
They
in
do
Europe,
thermograms.
they certainly do, and they start when someone is in their 20s quite often, because early breast cancer can be particularly aggressive. So thermography shows a lot about breast health in general. It can show hormone imbalance, fibrocystic issues, estrogen dominance. These are all things that we can naturally do something about. One thing is, as you all mentioned, Marilyn, was dry brushing. And all of our thermography clients do get a dry brush, and I show them how to use it. There is a homeopathic cream that is often recommended. So I take the pictures and do the imaging in my office. You do have to be a doctor that's trained in thermography to interpret those images. And so I work with Dr. Matthew Lee of Elite Physicians, who is located here in Richmond, and he has a sole practice. He is a family physician that is trained in thermography, and he's also a pharmacist and a toxicologist. So he has quite a bit of depth and insight. So he looks at the images, does a lot. It's a very complex method to interpret those. So he puts the report together, and then I meet with the client again. We go over it together. They get a copy with full color pictures.
Oh yeah, it's in Technicolor.
It is. It's
like
lovely.
Yep,
It's,
it is in
it's
Technicolor.
So
And
great.
is your insurance covered?
If somebody has a health savings account or a flexible spending, that typically will cover it. Otherwise, it doesn't. But you know, it's funny. I've had a couple of insurance companies call me recently on behalf of their clients, and you know, we're asking about it. There is a procedure code and there's a diagnostic code for thermography, and insurance companies typically know about that. But I said, so what will it take to get this covered?
Yes.
And they said, well, just our clients need to call us and request it, and if enough of them do, then maybe we can. And it's a nice adjunct to mammograms. We have to say it doesn't replace them in that it's not just like that, but because mammograms are typically used to diagnose breast cancer.
Right.
And these look at breast health in general in many different aspects. They show inflammation patterns and little vascular patterns that could be starting that we can use drought brushing, and there are some supplements that help reduce excess estrogen and that homeopathic cream.
Right.
Different measures we can take. And if somebody needs a follow-up, it's totally safe because there's no radiation. It's a digital medical camera.
Well, the beauty of that is that, you know, an ounce of prevention, even though it's not covered by insurance, what's the cost in having to treat yourself after the fact? So the preventive nature of it is what really makes a difference.
It's really helpful, and more physicians are referring people, because some people would like to go ahead and do this as well. And so it's $187.
Oh, that's not
that
bad.
includes everything.
It's very affordable.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when somebody
That's a shopping
returns,
spree.
yes, it's great. And when someone returns for a follow-up or a yearly thermography, then we give them our special pricing that we normally do in February for Heart Healthy Month, and also October for breast cancer awareness. So it's $167 when they come back. So we've really tried to, you know, make it very affordable for people so they can participate in it.
I mean, I go get it. I go to her, try to go once a year. I think this year it was a year and a half. But I like to go to get it done. I feel that I get more of a more in-depth report. Because your breast is not squished into a machine.
Oh my gosh.
And we all know as women how uncomfortable.
A man had to create that machine.
I tell you, he did. I'm telling you, they had to have created that, because you have to move your body like a contortionist.
Squish it.
They squish your breast. And it's painful. It hurts. It hurts.
It does.
And then you have to stand still in pain.
And not breathe.
Don't breathe,
Don't breathe.
Don't breathe,
It's
right.
Really? You expect me to stand like a contortionist with my boobs squished and don't breathe? Really?
Oh my goodness. And now a lot of women have dense breasts, is what you call them. There you go. And in several states, including Virginia, the mammograms typically will say that dense breasts can hide abnormalities and cancer. And so it doesn't matter if somebody has dense breasts with thermography or even breast implants.
No, it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you still gotta be a little bit of a contortionist with Debbie, but she gives you a break. You know, she lets you rest every so often.
Yes.
But it's so much more, in my opinion, this is my opinion as Dr. Marilyn, it is so much more comfortable to go to Debbie, and it doesn't take as long, and you don't have to wait. Normally when I have never had to wait into her office. 1 minute is tops that I would have to wait for her. And her office is located, actually how I find it, it's located next to BJ's.
It surely is.
You know, it's
I
located,
know where that is,
and
yeah.
it's behind the Regency Mall, located next to BJ's.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we just share the parking lot with Disco Sports, so the parking's very simple
Oh,
and
there's
easy.
ample parking.
Yes.
Ample parking. And what I love about it is being intuitive and holistic like I am, the energy in there is so good. It is so amazing to walk in there and feel the energy and the positive vibes that are going on in the Wellness Village.
Oh, well, thank you.
And I just love it. I just love going there and seeing
you.
Debbie and doing the foot ionizing. And what is a way to get in contact with you?
My telephone number is 804-683-7774, and my email is lifestyledesignswellness@gmail.com. And I will say too, with the thermography, there's also a women's health screening, which is basically from the waist up that looks
Because I was about to ask if someone wants to have it done in other areas.
Yes.
Can
but
we request that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that looks at the carotid arteries in the
Okay.
neck, which
Oh,
is very important.
Yes.
It looks at the thyroid gland, back of the neck, upper back. There are even dental issues sometimes that will
Now,
show
does
up.
Dr. Lee, does he read those too?
He reads all of these.
He reads all of them.
He sure does.
That's good to know that there's a doctor out there that does more than just knees and elbows or knees and shoulders.
Head, shoulders,
You
knees,
know,
and toes.
head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Seriously, I'm telling you.
It's great, and you can even do the whole body. And when you do a full body,
I would love to do that.
yes,
Yeah. Me
when you
too.
do a full body, looks starting at the face and goes all the way to the bottom of the feet, and arms inside and outside, legs. Men have come in. Men get breast cancer too.
Oh,
Yes,
definitely.
they do.
They really do.
It's not just
It's not just women.
women. It's men
Yes.
men can get breast cancer too.
So it just shows so many things. Inflammation and symmetry is very important. Like, does one side look just like the other? What's the temperature differentials? Because when you start seeing inflammation, that underlies, it works off of heat. And inflammation pretty much underlies so many
Every disease.
many
Every
diseases.
Right. It starts with inflation. It really does.
So there are things we can do.
Things
and
we can do. You
Listen.
can talk
Listen
to
to
Debbie.
your body.
Listen to
Yes.
your body. I have really had to listen to my body this week. Can I pick this up? Can I reach for this? I mean, I can do everything with my left hand. I had to eat with my left hand this week. Now, my husband is left-handed, and he can do a lot of things with his right hand. I can't do a lot of things with my left hand. So eating with my left hand made my brain feel really weird. Really weird.
It
It's
might
like,
have some residual effect since you
That's
couldn't
right.
lift the spoon.
Might
well,
be
that could be
ambidextrous.
true. I was eating less. It's like it was so much of an effort. I was thinking to myself, maybe I just get a pair of chopsticks, and start eating like that. It might be easier.
Just
It was
try.
a challenge. It was a challenge to eat
sure.
this
Do
week.
soups that you can drink from the
Because-
cup.
But I have to pick it up, and sometimes a cup. I'm not being a wimp or anything, but when you can't move, let me tell you something, friends. Appreciate the fact that you can move. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it, because when you can't do it and you don't have it, you're gonna wish that you had
Yes.
it. And one thing, when I came out of the orthopedic doctor's office, it really made me feel grateful that I only had a sprained ankle and whatever's going on in my arm right now, rotator cuff or whatever, the fact that I couldn't move. I saw a young man with his mom get off the elevator, and he had a prosthetic leg. Talk about being grateful for
Yes.
what you have.
That's right.
When you think that your world is falling apart,
It's not.
and you are really having a struggle, look outside.
There's
All you
always
have to
someone
do,
else.
because there's always somebody else
Yes.
who has a worse problem than you, and I don't care who it is. And that's one reason why I don't do pity parties.
Count your blessings.
That's
Count
right.
your blessings. Be happy you have what you have. I'm happy that, yeah, I've got pain, but I can still move my arm right there.
You still have an arm.
I still have
That's
an
right.
arm.
You sure do.
Right? And I still have fingers that I can move.
That's right.
And my ankle is feeling better. So the self-care that I'm doing is so important. Make sure you're doing self-care. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. If you need advice on a homeopathic remedy, I don't prescribe. You know, I'm doing my
Offering support.
right. I offer support. I will give you suggestions because I don't prescribe and I don't diagnose, and that's my disclaimer. But I will help you out as much as I possibly can with whatever is ailing you. I mean, if you're having problems with a cold, there's different ways to get rid of a cold.
Yep.
I had a cold for a couple weeks ago and was down for the count. I had to take care of myself then. I was down for the count for 3 days. I didn't get a chance to come see you because I had a cold.
Yes, I
And it's like-
remember.
And the other thing is, I didn't want to give it to anybody because I was pretty well. I did give it to my husband, but he didn't get. He just got not as bad as I did. I was fortunate for that. But there's homeopathic remedies. You know, if you hurt yourself, there's one called arnica, which is great, which is in that cream that you were talking about.
Yes.
My dad, gosh, God bless his soul, when he was alive, he was an accident waiting to happen. Always falling down. So hitting the wrong nail with a hammer, things like that. Yeah, I mean, he was really an accident because he would go too fast.
Right.
And his body was going faster than his brain can think.
Yes.
So I always told him, Dad, you got to keep arnica in your pocket because you need it, because you are just an accident waiting to happen. So if you're having that problem and you find that your body's going faster than your brain, or you have unfortunately fallen like I have, or you twisted your hand or whatever, arnica is a good one to have. Or you've bumped
Tell
your
them how
knee.
to spell it, Marilyn.
It's spelled A-R-N-I-C-A. The second word is Montana, M-O-N-T-A-N-A, like this, like the state, but we always call it arnica.
It is excellent.
And if you could get that tube for me again. Blue tube. You can get blue tube. They're homeopathic remedies at health food stores.
Yes.
They have a section, homeopathy, and they always have a blue tube display there. Now, how you take a homeopathic remedy, I love homeopathy. You turn the cap here 3 times. You get 3 pellets in there. You take the top off, and you just put them in your mouth and let them dissolve. That's all you need to do.
That's right.
You don't need water. You don't need food. You don't need anything. And what this does is when you get a homeopath like myself to help you out, you will find that you will get relief within 5 to 10 minutes.
Now, I've always
very
dissolved them under
effective.
my tongue.
I do too, but sometimes it's uncomfortable for me.
Okay.
So I dissolve them on my tongue.
Okay.
Or, you know, if they get under, it's kind of hard to talk with them under my tongue. It's a little uncomfortable for me. I have a, you know.
Just sensitive.
I am sensitive towards that.
Yeah.
So, but you don't want to like eat or drink like 10 minutes before or 10
Before,
minutes
after.
after, because you want the full potency of the homeopathic
Absorbed in your
remedy.
body.
To absorb.
And it goes directly into your system. It goes directly into your bloodstream. It bypasses your digestive system because it is dissolved in your mouth, goes just through everything.
Yep. And
don't have-
homeopathics have been around for a long, long time.
Oh, over 300 years.
Yes, and used over in England. There are even hospitals that are homeopathic. And
Well, there's homeopathic pharmacies in Europe all over.
Yes,
All over.
yes, very
like
much
every other
used.
corner. If you go to Europe, Paris, France is a good place to get homeopathic.
yes,
Denmark,
Germany.
Germany, Belgium, any of those countries, when I was over in Europe, they have homeopathic remedies. And they have homeopathic pharmacies. They're pharmacies. They're not the allopathic pharmacies. They're the homeopathic pharmacies.
Exactly. I was visiting family up in Canada not long ago, and visited with a husband and wife. They're both homeopathic doctors. She does thermography in the practice, and it was just fascinating that it's very well known up there,
common.
and they're so effective. They work well and don't have side effects.
There's no side effects. I've never had a side effect from a homeopathic remedy. In fact, the reason why I became a homeopath is years and years ago, I am highly allergic to bees. Highly allergic to bees. So years and years ago, I got stung by a wasp, and that was in the 80s when I had, I can do this, but I can't do this. I had the 80s hair. Yeah, it was sprayed out hair. Yeah,
Beehive.
I was a platinum blonde, and I had the 80s hair, and I felt something in my hair, and I was driving down the road in the country. So I pulled it out, and I threw it out the window, and it turned out to be a wasp. Like, oh, this is not good. And I started hyperventilating, so I pulled along the side of the road, and I remembered a friend of mine had given me a very potent dose of Apis, which is made from bee venom, which you take if you've gotten stung. Even for mosquito bites, you can take it. So I started taking it, and I wasn't feeling good, but when I started taking it, and I don't know why I remembered it was in my purse, but I did, and it's very little pellets because it was a very potent dose, and I started taking it, and after about 20 minutes, I was feeling better. And 3 hours later, I hadn't even felt like I got stung by a bee.
Wow, that's great.
It's like, I am doing this because I was 45 minutes away from a hospital.
Yes.
It's like, okay, this is my demise. What am I going to do now? How am I going to explain to everybody I'm on the side of the road, I got stung by a bee, and I'm very allergic to
Going
them.
into shock there.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
So homeopathy saved my life. And I am just a firm believer in homeopathy, a firm believer. And sometimes, I'm not a classic homeopath, because sometimes I find that homeopathic combinations work better than just one remedy.
Yes, and herbs are that way too. Sometimes they work synergistically better in combination, and vitamin B is very similar to that too.
Right, when you get vitamin B and you get the B6 and the B12 and the B whatever, you know, you get the combination of these. And they do have a supplement at a lot of health food stores. It's like it says combo B or combo B vitamins.
Complexes.
Complex B, So I have found that a lot of times the homeopathic remedies, when you get them in a combination, it's synergistically and energetically works faster. Like there's one I use for migraines. I'll get a migraine every so often, and I'll use that one, and within 10 minutes my migraine's gone.
That is awesome.
I know.
Wow.
It's awesome. If you want to know more about homeopathy, I'm going to be putting a blog on my website next week on homeopathy.
Okay.
And I'm also going to be putting a blog on apple cider vinegar for people who want to know more about apple cider vinegar. I'm just really, I really hope that you, my viewers, and my friends, and my supporters have gotten some valuable information from what we've told you tonight about self-care, being patient, loving yourself. Really love yourself, because when you love yourself, you can love others. You really can. And you are important. You are important not only to your family and your friends, you're important to us here at Healthy Living with Marilyn. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Debbie so much for being here. Thank you so
for having me tonight. It's
Thank
been a
you.
pleasure. Yes.
It's been really an enlightening experience, and we've gotten a lot of information. I hope that you all have gotten a lot of information from what we've been talking about. If you want to know more about turmeric and you can't find information, or you want to know the ins and outs of how to take it, give me a call. My number is 804-350-0034, and if I can't answer the phone, please leave a message. I would appreciate it if you would leave a message, or you can email me at info@healthylivingwithmarilyn.com. So I
have
want
a question about the turmeric, because I'm sure others may be asking, when you have the powder turmeric, how do you know how much to use, Marilyn? Because a lot of people will go and they'll say, I've got this turmeric.
Right, that's a good question.
How much to use?
I normally use when I drink it in my almond milk, I normally use maybe a quarter of a teaspoon.
Okay.
I use a very little, and the reason why, do you use it?
Well, I have a turmeric supplement.
Oh, okay.
So I don't actually use the turmeric this way.
I got this at the health food store. Some of the health food stores you can get it at.
Yes.
In the area.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
With good spices.
I'm not doing commercials for any of them, but you can probably get it at Elwood. You can get it at Whole Foods. You can get it at Good Foods in bulk.
Right.
Yes.
It's a lot more economical that way because you can get how much you want.
That's right.
Because basically when you get a spice or an herb in a bottle, it's more expensive because a lot of that cost that you're paying for is the bottle.
Packaging.
It's the packaging. So if you've got fancy packaging, you're going to pay more.
You're going to pay more. And I know y'all know this too, but and of course with healing, to make sure you're drinking plenty of water.
Yes,
Absolutely.
hydrating yourself.
Ooh, that is so important, and to oxygenate the body, to do deep breathing, and drinking enough water helps to do that. It saves
Half your
your
body weight.
Because what
in
that
water.
also does is it helps get your circulatory system going.
Yes.
And you really need to get your circulatory system going and your lymph glands going, the fluid in your lymph glands going.
Flush the toxins out.
Flush the
Yes.
toxins out, because the reason why you have inflammation, you get those toxins gathered up in there and those free radicals, you want to get rid of that. When you have swelling and everything, that's the reason why your muscles, I'm sure my muscle is pretty okay. It's just the inflammation that's making it painful, and it's aggravating it. So
That's
I'm
right.
going on the positive thought and the positive aspect that my muscle's okay. I don't have rotator cuff. I'll be fine.
We claim healing.
That's right. We claim healing.
That's right.
We
Next week
claim
you'll be
healing.
dancing.
Maybe.
Doing that Irish jig.
Maybe I would do, That would be good if I was doing the Irish jig. I'd really like to be able to do that. But I have to be careful because I have my children watching me all the time.
We'll take care of her.
That's right.
See,
They're
they
looking
said they'd
out
take
for
care of
you.
me, guys. They're going to take care of
Yes.
me. So, but I also want to wish every mother in the world, every mother, I want to wish you a happy Mother's Day. Thank you. I want to wish you a happy Mother's Day.
You too, Marilyn.
And I want to wish everybody, all the mothers out there, and my daughters, because they're mothers too, and my mom, a very happy Mother's Day. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
Yes.
Enjoy your mother, because you only have one.
That's it.
And
there are a lot of fathers that substitute
For
when there are no
mothers,
mothers as well. So honor those as well.
exactly.
And caregivers.
Honor the caregivers and the fathers and the children,
grandmothers.
the grandmothers,
Yeah,
and
the G-mods and the glam-mods.
right. I mean, just honor your relatives. Honor the people that have taken care of you, that have brought you up, that have been there for you. It's really, don't take them for granted. They're there for you because they love you. They really love you. And I want to tell my children, I really love you. I think you guys know that, but I really want to tell it on TV. I really love you.
Yeah.
Do you have something to say to your kids?
I miss my son in New York and my daughter in love. They had their 3rd anniversary yesterday,
Well,
and
happy
3 years ago,
anniversary.
this is how I spent Mother's Day. So every Mother's Day weekend, I reminisce on the fabulous time we had. And to my daughter, who's the mom of my 3 grands, I couldn't live this life without her. So, it's a pleasure just having the opportunity to look at what you have gifted into the world, to see your children blossoming and your grandchildren blossoming. and leaving that legacy, because this is our legacy for life.
It is.
It
It
is.
is. Do you want to say to your family, Debbie?
Well, yes, and happy Mother's Day to my mom. I'm very fortunate to still have her. She's 87. And my son in Canada and my grandson, that they live up there. And I'll be seeing them this summer.
Oh, that's
and
great.
then my son that is in Virginia, he's a nurse, travel nurse, and that I love all of y'all and appreciate you, and I love being a mother.
I love being a mom too.
Yes.
And,
And a
I love-
grandmother.
rock.
Moms and
They rock.
grandmothers.
And
Moms rock.
I'm like you. I miss my son. And I want to thank
Yes.
everybody for joining us today. And you all have a lovely Mother's Day. And we'll see you next week. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thanks, Marilyn.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Good to meet you.